with you to seek destiny. Say a prayer for me, my Father. Say a prayer for you and me. Say a prayer for us, my Father. Say a prayer for us and all humanity. Play a song for us, my sister. Shout it loud and clear and free. Let us join with you and all the gods that be, as we sing as one, a voice of harmony. Bless the earth for us, our mother. Bless the earth.
Oh my, good morning and welcome to Unity of Santa Barbara and happy Father's Day. It is our, yes, woo! Let's hear it for fathers. We're going to celebrate them a little bit later too. And it is our absolute passion as a spiritual community to encourage each and every one of you to stand in your power, live in a genuine freedom, and fully express your divine essence in every moment and every day. And to know the peace that passes understanding, the peace that comes from knowing your oneness with God. You are truly in the right place, at the right time, right now. I'm Michael Avery, and on this Father's Day, I'm so happy, so very, very happy to welcome you here to Unity of Santa Barbara, a pan-denominational spiritual community that honors all the many paths to God, especially the one that you are on. For some time now, I have been practicing something that I learned right here from our dear friend, Daryl Fasaro, who's spoken here a number of times. And he talked about a morning routine. I have been practicing the morning routine now for going on 2 years. And my interpretation of this is I hydrate, I meditate, I read, I go to the gym, and then I have coffee. But in the past few months, I've kind of shifted gears a little bit. And my reading includes the Daily Word. And I post on the Daily Word every morning on Facebook. I post a story. And this morning I wanted to read a little bit from what I posted. To be a father means that no matter how young or old you are always there for your kids. It doesn't mean that you always agree with them, but they know that you are there. And there to love them and care for them in the best and healthiest way. That you know how, and you know how to love them, and you know how to support them, although this will look very differently depending on the stage of life. And I realize this, I have a 50-year-old son, and supporting him at this point in his life is a whole different thing for me. So in A Course in Miracles, the concept of fatherhood, particularly God as the Father, is central to understanding our relationship with creation and with ourselves. It emphasizes that God's fatherhood extends to all of us, his children. Therefore, understanding God's fatherhood is crucial for understanding our own identity. our own purpose. In essence, A Course in Miracles uses the concept of fatherhood to guide us towards a deeper understanding of our true identity, our relationship with God, and the path to healing and forgiveness. It encourages us to see God as a loving Father and to recognize our inherent worth and connection to Him. Our Father is omnipresent, and I ask that you join me in speaking this truth. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. I want to take a moment to acknowledge our Unity singers who will be blessing us this morning, and our musicians, Noreen Brokey, Randy Tico, and Renee Martinez. Now, if you'll stand and join as they sing, they'll know we are family by our love. Yes. Wonderful, wonderful. While you're standing, I invite you to say hello to one another and share your love and a little bit of God's love as well. Okay, let's bring it all back in, folks. Yes, we were talking about the daily word and this morning's daily word. is Father's love. Yes, I bless those special ones who have shown my Father's love. My Father's love is like no other. It gives the warm feeling of protection and gentle guidance and inspires me to live to its example. Father's love takes many, many forms. It might mean helping with homework, coaching, sports, and teaching all kinds of different things. It might mean the wise counsel and loving guidance that prepares children to be self-sufficient and ready for the freedom and responsibilities of fatherhood. A father's love may come from many, many earthly sources. No matter who showed me this love, its origin was divine. God is at the heart of all fathers' love. I pray that all fathers and father figures feel the appreciation of those they teach, love, and protect. May they know the love of God as they have brought it into the world. Fathers may know to children your faithfulness is what it says in Isaiah chapter 38, verse 19. At this time, we'd like to welcome, yes, we want to welcome all online guests and everybody here. And we are blessed to have viewers in many states, and here they come. And it is we are amazed. I'm amazed every week when I go through last week's broadcast to see where all the blessings and all the viewers have come from. And I want to thank you and say, bless you for being with us today and every Sunday. I'd also like to you to leave any comments and just share with us any thoughts that you have. And we will give you a free gift at unitysb.org/free gift. We're always happy to know that our dear friends at Oak Cottage Memory Care are viewing us, and we want to bless you and thank you. Is there anyone here that is here for the first time? Oh, it's the family today. Well, thank you, family. Thank you for being here. And our youth, as always, is in the community room. And they will be joining us the last Sunday, what we're calling Children's Sunday. And we also have Knox School, but Knox is on summer vacation right now. But Interact is fully charged, and they're having a good time here. If you pop in on a Friday or Saturday, you'll see all the kids and how joy-filled this community is. Now, I'd like to have us bless our community. If you'll join me, may this space be a sanctuary of peace, where hearts are open and spirits soar. May we grow in love, rooted in purpose, and uplifted by hope. Bless Unity of Santa Barbara, today, tomorrow, and always, in all ways. Namaste. Now, we believe in prayer, in the power of affirmative prayer. And we are a prayer ministry. So if you need prayer support, we have chaplains here. Will the chaplains please stand? And if you would like prayer support, see one of the chaplains. If you'd rather do it anonymously, you can do a prayer request and drop it in the box in the atrium. And we will pray on that for 30 days, and then we send it to Silent Unity. and they continue to pray. And Silent Unity has been doing that for over 100 years. And that in and of itself is amazing. And we do also have our blessed Shirley Campbell Chapel that is available for prayer. Now it's time for our meditation song.
Will you join me in singing Blessing to the World? If you're like me, you are sometimes discouraged by things that you see going on, and I ask myself very often, what am I supposed to do? What march to join, or what petition to sign? And then I try to remind myself that the essence of who I am is already a blessing to the world, and I just need to claim that and recognize it. So join me as we sing. I am the heart, I am the hands, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. You are the heart, you are the hands, you are the voice of spirit on earth, and all you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart, we are the hands, we are the voice of spirit on earth, and all we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world.
So as we take in those words, we gently move within. Taking a few moments here to focus on our breath. And with each exhale, allowing ourselves to drop down into that place of inner stillness, that spiritual essence that we are. Knowing that at the very core of our being is love, source, light. And as we drop down into this place of inner stillness, we are aware that this power is the very being of our life, the very truth of our life and every living being on planet Earth. And so we take these few moments to recognize that, to know that, to embody that, knowing that spirit is the very essence of our being. And as we feel this and know this, we also know that this spirit, this essence, radiates outward, filling up every particle of our being and out into our community and into the world. What a blessing it is to know this, to be this, and to anchor in this truth. And as we know this, as we embody this, we also realize, recognize, and understand that in this knowing, we are shifting consciousness on planet Earth. More love, more peace, more understanding, more compassion. Because consciousness changes the way we experience reality. And because it's Father's Day, we take a few moments now to honor whoever the father figure is in our life or was in our life, or who has ever been that figure for us. Or perhaps we have been the father figure. taking a moment to connect with this energy of this person or these people, whether they're here on planet Earth or have moved on to a different realm. We know that this connection, this honoring is available right here and right now. So wherever we're at in our relationship with ourself as a father, our father figures, we honor that. And as we move into time in the silence, we do so with consciousness and conscious awareness that if there's any peace to make with our fathers or as a father or our father figures, this is an opportunity to do that and to honor wherever we're at. And it's also an opportunity to tap into a greater reality beyond any role we've ever played, to know who and what we are as we move into a few moments together in the silence. And we are so grateful to know that there is one power and one presence, and that this power and presence is the very essence of our being. So as we move into the rest of our service, we do so with this awareness of who and what we are. So grateful. And we gently release this time of consciousness, of meditation, of mindfulness, in gratitude and as gratitude. And so it is. Thank you.
I am the heart, I am the voice, I am the voice of spirit on earth, and who I am, and all I do is
Let's give the choir some more love. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I am so honored to be here. Happy Father's Day, everyone. And I was sitting over there reflecting on how long I've been in New Thought, and there's a reason that I was reflecting on that, because I was thinking those of us who have been in New Thought for a while have heard a lot of talks about the divine feminine, right, or the sacred feminine, but how often do we talk about the divine masculine? And that caused me to reflect. I've been in New Thought for almost 40 years. Wow, exactly. I think wow too, because I must have come in diapers, right? That must be, because and let's not affirm that. I don't want to be in diapers. Like I've already done that one, but I just want to say how grateful I am. I love Unity of Santa Barbara, and I love the energy here and the enthusiasm. And as I reflect on Father's Day and all the different possibilities of what we can talk about, what I came to is to talk about the divine masculine and what does it mean to embody that. Now, oftentimes when we think about the divine masculine or the divine feminine, we might think about gender. And it really isn't about gender. It really is about the different qualities that live within each of us. As a matter of fact, we could even say in the awakened state, we're moving beyond any construct of the ideas that we have that might separate us. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's a symbol that is called a double dorji, and it's on the throne of the Dalai Lama, and it's in many Tibetan temples, and it is to balance masculine and feminine energy. I also just want to name that we are living in really interesting times right now about what it means to be male or female or these other genders that are now arising, right? And so for some of us who are of a certain age, we might be thinking, what is all of this? I have my moments where I'm thinking, what is all of this? And I'm in an LGBTQ community, right? So I want to just... Because what we know in New Thought is spiritually, we are much more than any of that. And so as we think about what it means to be male in our current culture, some of us might be trying to figure out how we can find our grounding. Does anyone feel that? Anyone feel that? Any of the men in the room thinking, what does it even mean to be a man in the 21st century? Yeah, you have that question. Have you come up with any answers? Because the stage could be yours. Next week. Because we are in the midst of so much changing in the outer world, but what we're curious about here when we have our moments on a Sunday morning in New Thought and in Unity is what's happening in the inner world. And so when we think about what it means to be male, or what maybe are the attributes of the divine masculine, we might think about strength. We might think about courage. We might think about the intellect, being smart, being brave. A lot of the messages that many men received growing up. I can tell you what I received growing up. Are you ready? Don't talk like a girl, don't walk like a girl, don't act like a girl, don't throw like a girl, don't talk like, what's wrong with being a girl, right? I remember clearly I wasn't a very masculine little boy, right? And somehow it wasn't meeting up to the standards of the day. And so if we think about what many men were told, those of us who are a certain age, I'm going to actually ask people here right now just to name, whether you are male or not, what do you think little boys are often told? What are we told to be? Don't cry. Be independent. Be tough. Stay strong. Be an athlete. Don't chew gum. Okay. There's always one good random answer. I like that. What else are boys often told? Don't be an actor or a singer. Don't be too creative. It might mean something. Get a job, right? Be the breadwinner. Be strong. Be brave. Be the protector. Oh my goodness. That's a little boy, a little beautiful spiritual being, and we're already programming them on what it means. And so when we come into spiritual community, we get invited to take a look at all of that and understand that, yes, we have this programming that we've received from the world, but there is an essence, an essential being, the first principle of unity. There's only one power and one presence. And if there's only one power and one presence, that means we get to question and be curious about every program we've ever received about what it means to be human. And what happens is we can live as an ego expression, and I want to be clear because especially in New Thought, ego gets a bad rap sometimes, like you shouldn't be in your ego, kill the ego. And my friend Dr. Sue Morter says only ego would want ego to die. So it's not about killing the ego, it's about recognizing what gets created when I'm in my ego. So the ego expression of the masculine are all those things that we just said, right? Be strong, be brave, be the breadwinner, don't have feelings, don't let anyone see you cry. As we awaken and we start looking at the sacred qualities of that, to me, we would look at power, presence, and purpose. In David Hawkins' book, Power versus Force, which I will confess I have not read all of it, but the excerpts I have read are incredible to differentiate between what it means to stand in our power or to be forceful in the world. And many men are taught to be forceful. And I'm going to go out on a limb because that's where the fruit is. Mark Twain said that, I believe, not I, but that's okay. I'll take it today. I'll go out on a limb and I'll say that we see a lot of that ego expression happening in the world right now. These identities that seem to be at odds with one another. And a lot of it is, what does it mean to be male? What does it mean to be female? What does it mean to be in the world today? Who am I and how do I find my people? And that what happens is when we are out of touch with the truth of who and what we are, we look to the world to bring us peace and happiness. Now, how many of us have tried to change the world so we could be free? Come on, some of you were around in the 60s and 70s. I know you were, right? So, right, I can do it. And how did that go? I'm still trying, okay. I need the world to be different so that I can be free. That was my life for 2 decades, also known as teenage years, 20s, and into my early 30s, when I started to say, I wonder if rather than thinking the world needs to change so I can be free, I discover how I can be free so I can be part of making a difference on the planet. And that difference for me is what we see played out right now in a very dramatic way. And I actually always want to honor it. And I honor it because there go I. I'm not going to even say there but for the grace go I, because that was me. I was the one who felt so broken and so damaged. And because I felt so broken and damaged, which we're going to talk about in a moment because it's very connected with my relationship with my father. But because I felt broken and damaged, I also saw the world as broken and damaged. And there was so much evidence that I could say, see, the world is broken. Look at what's happening. And there was this consciousness that I would say, if this person wasn't in office, I would be free. And then that person would leave office. Oh, there's another one. Maybe even someone I voted for. What are they doing, right? So to move beyond the duality that the world plays out is to stand in a place of this divine balance, divine integration of what we call the masculine and the feminine. So we often think about divine feminine as being intuition, being in allowance, being compassionate, being loving, being nurturing. And then we think of the divine masculine as the other things that I've said. First of all, that's a lot to put on ourselves if we think it has to do with gender. Because I'm going to let's make it fair today. Okay, women, what were you told as little girls you needed to be?
Nice, feminine.
What? Dainty?
Nice.
Quiet? Nice. Be nice. Be sweet. Be pretty. What else?
Pretty.
Thin. Yes. By all means, be thin. My mother put I'm going to I know this is recorded. I don't think my mom is watching, but my mom put my daughter on not my daughter. Oh, that was interesting, huh? Her daughter on the scale every day. And by 8 years old, she was on a diet. Now, I know what that came from. That came from the trauma of her childhood and her absolute obsession with looking a certain way so that she could feel safe. But it was projected onto my sister, and lo and behold, my sister has had issues with that her entire life, right? So I want to talk about my relationship with my dad for a moment. In my awareness as a little person, and the reason I say in my awareness, I want to be clear, I don't know what actually happened. I just know my perception of what happened. And that change right there is what brought me freedom. It's not what happened that created what I call reality. It's what I decided about, what I absorbed, and what I took on as my own that created what I called reality. So I'm not sure what happened, but my perception was Dad was never home. And because this is Sunday morning, I won't get into a lot of detail of where Dad was often, but let's just say he was busy with some other people that weren't my mother. We'll leave that there. And there's much more that if you want to get more of that detail, come to the workshop where we're not being recorded and we can really talk. But there was an energy with my dad and his brothers that was very frightening to me as a kid, actually. And so from a very early age, the archetype of the male was a scary person and a distant person. And when my parents got divorced at 14, the first thing I said to my dad is, "What took you so long? Why did you wait?" Because my parents were in a loveless marriage. This was confirmed for me 2 years ago, that he was told to marry her. They were 19 and 20. And so what I decided about myself is must be something wrong about me, because that's what little kids do, right? It doesn't need to be logical. My brain wasn't even developed enough. Maybe Dad has some unresolved trauma, which he does, or did, certainly, in those years. Maybe my mom has some unresolved trauma. She did in those years. Oh, there must be something wrong with me. And so when my parents got divorced, my dad and I reconnected, and he really tried so hard to bond with me, and it worked really well. And for many years, we had a very close relationship, and then we had a big falling out when I was 17. And how it culminated is we went to the same church, and we would ignore one another, and this went on for 2 years. Except for, it was an Episcopal church, so it was, "Peace be with you, and also with you." Those are the only words we said to one another for 2 years. I have the most amazing relationship with my dad today. I love him very much. I understand that he actually only met his father twice. Well, actually, he only met his father once. He saw him drive by once and waved to him, and he shook his hand one other time. And there's a lot more that I won't get into, but let's just say there was a lot happening for him that I'm impressed that he is the man he is today. And it's so easy, or it was so easy for me, because when I first of all, I got into recovery when I was 20, and then I started coming to New Thought when I was 22, and I started to work on myself, right? What are these programs? What are these ideas? I knew there was a lot to unlearn, but when I came into all of this, I had the very perfect childhood and the very best parents ever. They were the most loving and kind people. And 1 year in, I had the absolute worst parents. Everything was their fault. All the trauma they did to me, and how could they? And I'm so wounded. And that became my identity. And then about 4 years or so into it, I came to a place of compassion that they did the best they could with what they had. But the key here for me was that didn't mean it didn't affect me. What it did mean, as I've heard Temple say this, and I've heard my friend Michael Beckwith say this, once you're 30, you can no longer blame your parents. Now, what I love about that is that means if you're under 30, keep going. Keep doing it. because that was such an important part of my process. It's their fault. My mom was this, my dad was this, my sister's this, and my family. And all of that became my reality until I reached this place of understanding that all of that, everything on my path became the perfect blueprint for my awakening. Because there was a time in my life before all of that where I knew who and what I was. That I was an effervescent spiritual being. Now, I didn't say that as a 4-year-old. I'm an effervescent spiritual being, although if I went to Unity, I probably would be saying that. I often wonder, I remember when I came to Unity, my best friend Lisa and I kind of came together, and she had a daughter, and she grew up in Unity. And I was like, I can't wait to see a child that grows up from like 3 or 4 years old absorbing this message. And I know there's people here who have that experience, right? Yeah. How many years ago did you come to Unity? I know you don't mind telling.
I've been here since I was 5, and I'm 98 now.
Look at that. Yeah, you know, my friend at Unity Brentwood, she made her transition when she was 102, but at 100, she was driving. And I met her daughters, and her daughters were a lot older than she was, because she was in Unity, and she was in the principles, and she was living them. I'm on a little bit of a tangent, but we like tangents, right? We're okay with that? Little tangent, let's ride the wave. My husband said, honey, I'm starting to think this new thought stuff might be real. I'm like, okay, tell me more. This was when we were together about 5 years, and he'd been coming around and, you know, met Michael, and like he's been around it, and he said, because you're the age of, and he named a few people, and like, they're really old. And you're really not. And I don't necessarily think it's only what you're doing physically. I think there's something to this spiritual piece. So to receive messages of our wholeness and perfection from a very early age, and to know that and to be that, creates a very different reality. For the rest of us who didn't get that, we get to come into New Thought and question every point of view we've ever had, and look at what we decided and absorbed, and ask ourselves, was there a point at which I knew who I was? And that point of knowing who and what we are is that first principle: there's only one power and one presence, and the rest is programming. And when we're in fear, fear activates the programming. What's happening on the planet Earth right now? What happened yesterday in our country? Fear activating the ego. When people get in fear, when I get in fear, I cling to the identity that makes me separate from you. And spiritually, the work or the play or the adventure we get to be on is to honor that, and also know that in the midst of it, there is oneness. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again today: Unity and New Thought principles can be inconvenient. Inconvenient. Because I can say, yes, there's only one power and one presence, and each of us is a spark of divinity. Then we turn on the news, which I don't do anymore. People have said, well, if you were so enlightened, you could watch the news. And I said, if I'm so enlightened, I think I said this before here, but I'm going to say it again. If I'm so enlightened, I could drink poison and hope not to die. But I'm going to choose not to do that today, because I'm not going to test that, right? So in the midst of what's happening in the world, who have I come here to be? And so when we move from force to power, standing in our power and knowing who and what we are, whether we call that divine masculine, or call that being human, or call that living from our essence, or being a spiritual being, or living our truth, the greater reality is, as I stand in my power, I radiate that power into the world, and suddenly the world is transformed. Power, presence, and purpose. Think about a child for a moment, and I'm going to close with this. And for those of you who know me, that means about 5 more minutes. If you look at a small child, what does that small child need? Love. Safety, attention, What is it? Peace. Touch. Physical touch. Is that your love language? You know the 4 love languages? Mine is physical touch. I always want to hug everyone. A child needs to be seen for who and what they are. And what we know is the presence is different than being present. The presence is knowing who and what I am and seeing that in you. The person who changed my life not by what she taught me, but how she saw me. And the energy of that awareness of who and what she saw me as, which was not at all how I saw myself, because when I came into New Thought and into recovery and into therapy and all the things I did in the mid-'80s, I came in believing I was broken and I needed to fix myself. And I was hoping that this spiritual community could do it if I could just learn to affirm things a certain way or do affirmative prayer, or if I attended enough workshops, even though, of course, come attend mine this afternoon. We come to a place where we realize that we can call off the search and rest in the truth of who and what we've always been. And that is power, presence, and purpose. To understand that we are one with this power, that we are a perfect expression of this power, and to understand that because of that, I can practice the presence in the world. In other words, I'm going to be that light and be that love, because life is a great experiment. And as I understand, not cognitively, but understand deeply who and what I am, I radiate that into the world. Power, presence, and purpose. My only purpose is to shine that light, really. The rest is some sort of interesting pathway toward getting there. We might believe we're trying to get somewhere, but the truth is we're trying to return to something that's already there. A pre-programmed human naturally exhibits everything we're seeking in a spiritual community. I want to learn how to feel my feelings. Two-year-old got that. I want to be more present. Two-year-old, they've got that. I want to be more loving. Hi, they just want to come and throw their arms around you. I remember when I was about 7, my uncle came into the room and I went running over and I hugged him and he pushed me and said, "Boys don't hug men like that." And I remember the feeling of that. I have compassion and forgiveness for him because I now know his story. But how that felt as a 7-year-old was counter to who and what I was and who and what I am. And so the spiritual journey is not one of moving towards something. It's about remembering who we were before those moments. And the power of that, and the presence of that, and the purpose of that is to simply be that in the world. Can it be that simple? Can it? Would we like it to be that simple? Yes. Because life is difficult and a challenge until it isn't. And so what I want to ask you, that came out strangely, didn't it? What I want to ask you is, are you ready for that moment when it is? The simple truth that you are a spark of divinity, that you are an expression of the one power and the one presence. And the invitation is to go out in the world and be that. Peace and blessings, everyone. Happy Father's Day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
As always, thank you very much, TJ. We're blessed to have you. And we are blessed, and it's now we want to affirm our prosperity consciousness. And it is, we affirm that we dwell in a prosperity consciousness, knowing that, as Charles Fillmore said, the father of unity, he taught that we shall serve for the joy of serving. Prosperity shall flow to us and through us in unending streams of plenty. Now we affirm this flow with our tithes and offerings, and we give freely of our talent, time, and treasure, as we know that we are Unity of Santa Barbara. our spiritual community and home. There are many ways to give, and you've seen them before, and you'll see them again. I mean, we have on the website, you hit give, and in Givelify and on Facebook. So, and you can give here today, or you can tithe on a regular basis, as many of you do, and we say thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, today we're going to bless our offerings twice. We want to bless giving and we want to bless receiving. So if you'll join me, please, as we bless, as we give. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I share, and all that I receive. Excellent. Thank you, Unity Singers. Now, as the ushers come forward, it's time for us to receive these gifts. As we take these gifts into our hearts with gratitude and love, please join me as we bless these gifts. Divine love, through us, blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we share, and all that we receive. And so it is. Thank you, ushers. Now it's time for a few announcements. And we'll keep this brief, but just some things that we want you to know. And to be in the know, if you'll pay attention to the e-blast that Susie sends out every Friday, you'll see what's coming up, both on Sunday and for the week. And there's a lot going on here this next week. And always, Unity has a wonderful little bookstore. Wings is open and available during the week, today and during the week. So, and I'm going to put on my waiter's hat. Today, Memory and the kitchen staff and the team have whipped up a wonderful lunch. It includes Sharon's Fiesta salad, ciabatta sandwiches with chicken or roast beef with sun-dried tomatoes, cheese, and aioli garlic spread, pickles, olives, turkey wraps, salami, turkey, cheese, with a gluten-free seed crackers and rolls, hummus, quinoa salad, potato salad, and watermelon and strawberries. Oh my, making me hungry. And we also have vanilla mousse cake. And we're going to honor all the fathers. So this is what I'm calling Celebration Sunday, because we're celebrating Father's Day and we're going to celebrate all birthdays. So I want all fathers to stand. And now I want all birthday people for June to stand. And you will get lunch on Unity today. And thank you and bless you and happy Father's Day and happy birthday. And we also want to acknowledge our beloved Christine Anderson for the beautiful flowers. Thank you, Christine. Now, TJ has a special workshop today. Would you like to share a few words on that, TJ?
Absolutely. Thank you. If you want to dive deeper into what we started exploring in the talk, what it means to be sacred masculine, and what, if any, wounds or programmings that you have around either your relationship with your father or your relationship as a father, this is going to be a sacred space for us to look at what are those programs that you absorbed and how do we start to heal those so that we can remember who and what we truly are. 11:30, I think it's 12 to 3 or 11:30 to 2:30. I keep hearing different times. Noon to 2. There it is. It's 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock.
There you go. Now, also mark your calendars, because the Unity Singers that we enjoyed today are going to be giving their summer concert. And we're going to celebrate the 4th on the 3rd and honor all veterans. It's July the 3rd at 7 p.m. And we also have a last call for the survey. We want your input, and we will be having a town hall in July, and all of this will be factored in, and we want to hear from you. We want to know what you want from Unity of Santa Barbara. We're here to serve you. Now, Susie wanted to share a few things, but she hasn't come in yet. So I am going to have to share in her behalf. It's solstice, and we have a booth, and we are going to be doing all kinds of fun things at the solstice. So she needs a few more volunteers, so if you'll check in at the welcome table, we will be happy to take your name and give you a job. So now if you'll stand and join hands and sing the peace song. and the peace begins right here and right now. And now the love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Yeah, I came across this little book on